my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're new, I welcome you all. I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life story with Asperger's syndrome, along with tips and advice along the way, as well as also some fun and games, hopefully in the near future and now maybe. But if you're into any of these, feel free to smash the subscribe on the bottom right hand corner, as well as in saying this, to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos like these, as well as keeping up to date with these future videos that are coming into play. So I want to take the time right now to introduce you to a new person who has agreed with me today or yesterday right now about doing another collab and of these interview questions you may have seen on my channel as part of my future videos that will be ongoing. This one is Amy Hart, which I forgot her channel name, but it will be linked in the description below basically, and I want to thank her for coming on to the channel and in saying this, that hopefully we'll learn something along the way. And as a disclaimer of what she's going to be talking about is autism and epilepsy. As I said before, many times before actually, in my videos based on autism, based on the every other day conditions can be intertwined into each other one way or another after the diagnosis, especially sometimes when we know sometimes autism can be hard to diagnose. But in saying this, I'm going to hopefully do a future video maybe based on some research on how maybe autism is being diagnosed recently, of some new treatments and whatnot. If you're into any of this, let me know in the comment section below. So I would like to say hello Amy and welcome to the channel, and hopefully in saying this that we'll get to know you more. So thanks for taking your time also to do these questions, and in saying this that if any one of you wants to participate before I begin this, also let me know. I would like to know your name and channel. If you would like to disclose your name, let it me know. Your channel name mean, and how did you actually come up with the channel? What is your purpose for your channel? Where did you hope for your channel to go for the next 5 years? What are your goals, aims and purposes for your channel?
Amy. My channel is Diaries of a Disabled Mom. My name is actually Amy, but it's spelled A-M-I, and it's actually pronounced Ami in French. I guess my mom had a thing for French at the time, and it means friend. That might be why I never have any. My mother cursed me. I came up with my channel name because I am a disabled mom, and my channel is basically diaries of our lifestyle, our travels, neurological conditions that I deal with, and being a special needs parent, or a parent of a special needs child. My purpose for my channel is it's to bring awareness to epilepsy and autism, which was my intention in the beginning when I created this channel from my gaming channel. And then I got into traveling to show people a little bit about my state, and then to show the struggles of being a parent of special needs. There isn't a lot on the internet about the mild special needs children, more of the severe cases, so I'd like to bring some attention to that, and then just show my life, I guess. In 5 years, that's a long ways. I'm hoping I'll have more subscribers, and I hope that I would have gave some useful advice to anybody that has epilepsy, autism, children with these conditions, microcephaly, which is fairly new to me. I feel like my aims and goals are the same as what I want to be in 5 years' time. I aim to just keep pushing content out there and finding the audience that fits my channel. My goals are basically the same: to bring awareness to these things, the struggles of some of the kids with special needs go through, even though mine can't talk, really. a whole lot. He's starting to.
Now the next questions I want to ask you is, what is autism and epilepsy in your own words, or if you know it off by heart, please explain to us today.
Epilepsy is, I'm going to have a hard time describing both, but epilepsy is actually a neurological condition, and it affects your brain. You have like an extra brain wave, I hope I'm saying this right, like an extra brain wave that like triggers something in your brain and it makes it malfunction, and then you have a seizure. And it also can affect your mental health. It can bring things like depression, anxiety, insomnia. It affects a lot, and it's ridiculous. And then autism, I'm not sure if that's a neurological condition or a mental condition, and you think I would know, but it kind of affects the way you work too, but in a different way. It affects your like socialness, is that even a word? It affects your people skills basically, and like it gives you sensory overload to a point where you can't handle people, and you can't or communication. That made my brain hurt.
What are the signs and symptoms for both of these conditions?
Well, the signs and symptoms of epilepsy is basically seizures, right? Because that's like the main thing. So I'm not sure if you know anything before that, because seizure senses some type of seizure disorder or epilepsy, and there's two kinds, epilepsy and then non-epileptic, not to get them confused. And then autism, there will actually be signs with autism. The kid will act like he's deaf, repetitive motion, lack of communication, sensory issues such as can't stand tags, being touched, or anything like that. They'll be in their own world, which is a pretty popular one. No eye contact or lack of eye contact, because apparently people think that if they give eye contact, they're not autistic. No. It don't work that way. Just because they give lack of eye contact does not mean they give no eye contact. And this is a misconception that irritates me to death.
What are the characteristics, traits for both of these conditions?
I would feel like I just answered that in my last question, but they seem the same as the signs and symptoms, because they're epilepsy is pretty obvious, but autism goes back into some of those signs.
What are your everyday struggles with these conditions, and how do you usually overcome them?
Struggles with epilepsy is highly annoying. Struggles that I deal on day-to-day basis, even if I'm not having seizures, is lightheadedness. I'll get dizzy. I'll slur my words, which some of these can also mean that I'm having a seizure, so I'm not always 100% if I am. And the absent ones, I never know when I'm having them. And I could just be talking to someone and forget the whole conversation. My favorite song would be on the radio, and then I'd be like, where the hell did that go? And then I'd just stare, or I'd be staring and find myself at the end of the room. I can't do certain things. Like if I run, I get dizzy. My favorite thing used to be skating when I was little, and I would get dizzy after the first round, so I'd have to take a break first. Riding a bike seemed like an issue. And my memory is so bad that I'm practically senile already. I have to write everything down, and it's quite annoying. The struggles with autism, it's mostly my communication and the way people look. I do social masking to a point, but I still mess up, and people have thought I was weird because of it. I'm very awkward, and I'm a very sarcastic person, though I used to take everything literal. Don't like giving much eye contact, though I do give it, but people have found me rude if I pull them. I used to not shake anybody's hands because I don't like it. but I force myself to, because if not, I'm considered rude. Basically, the way I am, society don't find very normal, but, you know, that's life. And I've had people not get the way I am, which is fine. I struggle with sensory issues all the time. Things are too loud. My nose is practically broken, but then there's freaking things that smells that I can smell that I just wanna. I'm very sensitive to light, so going into Walmart it's kind of a struggle, and sometimes you'll see me with my sunglasses on, things like that. Try to act normal, it's all I got, because it's hard, especially when you have people that like judge you and then ask why you do this and why you do that, and that should be no reason. Basically, right now what's working for me is my YouTube channel and all the YouTube friends that I've been making, which I appreciate every one of you. Just my kids and stuff is just, it's hard to overcome them, but these are the things that kind of keep me whole and keep my mind off of it, especially my son. He don't really give me time to think, so that's always good.
Are there any benefits between the two of these conditions you are briefly explaining to us today? If so, what are they? And basically, if not, why? What are they?
No.
What are the causes and triggers for your condition?
I don't know them all, but some of them I've mentioned. Running can be the trigger. I know stress can be a trigger, especially stress and anxiety, which sucks because I have both. So I try to not be totally stressed out. I am usually a pretty calm person and chill like I am now, so usually that's good. Sleep deprivation, which sucks because I'm also an insomniac, so that can cause seizures. Triggers for autism, I'm not necessarily sure. I don't think there is any. I just know, like I said, the sensory issues can cause my meltdowns. Other than that, I mean, I didn't even know why I was weird until I was practically an adult. Trying to learn on both these conditions was kind of like, what? I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't even know I had epilepsy. I was pretty more autistic then than I am now, so I wasn't quite with.
What skills, tools, methods do you use for these two conditions?
Seems like a repetitive question. Isn't this like the second or third time I got you? I don't think I have any. Like I said, I just bury myself in my YouTube channel, my videos of my kids, and my dog. That's about it. And my dog has been here way before my kids, so it practically started with him. Animals just like help me cope and take away my anxiety, and I actually wanted to be a veterinarian or a vet tech, but my memory is screwed and I'm dyslexic and chemistry was just not for me.
What are the biggest misconceptions about these conditions that you're clearly sharing with us?
Epilepsy would be that you have to have like a grand mal seizure to be epileptic. Like, because when you think epilepsy, you only think of the giant, big seizures. And I have like every seizure, or I'm not sure every, but I have quite a few different ones, but I do not have grand mal seizures. I had ones where I flop around a bit, but I'm usually awake. I'm conscious through like every seizure I have except for maybe absent, because 80% of the time I don't know I'm having them, and when I do, I just have like lightheadedness and stuff afterwards, sometimes before, and then it kind of comes to me, or you know, if I'm in an unfamiliar place, that'll do it too. Autism would be that, because a lot, even professionals, go off the atypical autism, and that makes it harder for girls to get diagnosed, but apparently I was pretty not there for them to diagnose as early as they did. I don't know, but some of the ones that they look for kind of PO me off because I'm not your average autistic. And my mom said I always gave some sort of eye contact. But you always see where they give so much eye contact, or they're partially social, that they imitate that, so they're not autistic, and that's not true. I imitate things. I don't have much imaginary skills, but I imitate how people do things and what you should do. It's quite annoying, really, because I know for a fact that that does not mean you're not autistic. I imitate to a point, and I imitate how society wants me to be, and I observe how people do things so I can do it without looking weird. Sometimes I mess up though, and I've always gave some sort of eye contact, and I've been partially social, not completely. I'm practically a loner. I prefer to stay in my room and play video games and be in my own world, and I don't like to be bothered. But I do communicate. That part took some time, but I do communicate. And I did communicate as a child to a point. After a while, all I can remember is like the end of elementary and up. But so autistics can communicate, can give some sort of eye contact, and can function to a point if they're high function. One of the misconceptions that I recently got by my son's pediatrician is I talk pretty good for being autistic. Gee, thank you. Didn't know I wasn't supposed to be able to talk.
When and how did you find out about your diagnosis?
I was about 20. But my mom found out when I was a kid. So I've actually had the diagnoses for a while. I just didn't know about them until later. The autism was probably 20. Probably knew about epilepsy before that. I don't know. But I didn't know who the hell I was till later.
Are you open or closed about your diagnosis of these two conditions?
A little bit of both. Like, I guess since I didn't really know what was going on with me when I was younger, I was closed. Therefore, nobody really knew about it, except for the people maybe my mom told. And I got stories. And it makes me wonder if they didn't know. I think mom would have told the school. Anyway, that's for now. Now I'm a little open. Still not too much, unless it comes up. Mostly the people who know me know about me, but you won't be able to tell if you really met me if you hadn't seen these videos.
Is there anything that your conditions has taught you? If so, what?
Not to really judge others, because you don't know what they're going through. And you don't know how hard it is for them. Unless you're in their shoes, don't judge them, because they could be like you and me. And you shouldn't judge somebody even if they have a non-physical condition that is not really noticeable, and then tell them that they're not who they are and that they can do this and can do that. It's very annoying and hard for them, and more of a struggle than it should be. Family. Pretty much. My mom's my main support.
Can you describe to us what it was like to live and deal with your conditions on
that one is going to be hard, because it's hard to I am not good at explaining things, and it's hard to explain to somebody what is going on in your head and what it feels like to have a seizure. But some of my seizures, and this is the only way I can explain it, feels like you're high, like you're floating on a cloud, and your body is about, or well, your soul is about to come out of your body, like an out of body experience, and you get brain fog, and your head is just not with it. I mean, that's the best I can describe it. And I don't even know how to begin to describe how it is to feel autistic, because with my autism side, it just feels different, like I'm an outcast and I'm not always there, because I'm still going to use this when I'm in my own little world. And sometimes when I'm in my own little world, I just see like right here, I don't see the side of me, so I end up bumping into things that I didn't know was there and be like, shit, where'd that come from? That wasn't there a second ago. So it's kind of hard to explain, but you get the gist of it.
What made you decide to talk about mental health on your channel?
I'm not sure if some of these are mental. I think most of them are neurological, but it's because these are actual conditions that there is not enough awareness on, and there needs to be more on it. And to blot out the misconceptions, if that made any sense at all. You with me? Okay. And to bring the reality to it and show them, or well, give information on these conditions so they're more informed. And if more people were informed, I wouldn't get such ignorant statements such as I have, which is not their fault because they don't know any better, and I try to ignore it.
What advice would you give to family and friends?
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one because I don't even have advice for myself. Just to be understanding, I guess.
What relationship advice would you like to give to people that are in a relationship with someone that has autism or epilepsy, or just someone that may have it themselves, just to get a clearer understanding?
Like a boyfriend-girlfriend type thing, or like friendship thing, because a boyfriend-girlfriend thing I struggle with quite a bit. The friendship thing I do too, but like for friends I can just say be yourself. Maybe somebody will like you.
Well, lastly, is there anything else you would like to disclose today for us to hear about?
Just would like to say be mindful of how other people are and to treat people the way you want to be treated, because it's not nice to be stepped on just because you have an illness or taken advantage of, and it's very hurtful. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and be sure to check out our channel. Bye guys.
Well, this quickly ends a quick video introducing Amy, and I want to thank Amy for coming on. And as I said before, the video will, or channel link to her is going to be listed below. And I'm saying this also, I'll hope to hear from any of you that are willing to come on. And I'm saying this, as I said before, if any one of you has got these conditions like autism or epilepsy that we've discussed today, here's some questions I want to throw at you guys. What are your everyday struggles that you go through on a daily with it, and how do you overcome it? Is there any ways on how you manage and cope with it on a daily, basically? And what has your condition taught you based on the epilepsy or autism if you're watching? And also, what are the myths and misconceptions that you want to abolish today? So this wraps up the quick video between Amy and I. Hopefully you've learned something. Let me know also in that comment section. Feel free to share these videos around. Feel free to subscribe if you haven't done so already. If you want to join me on the bandwagon for many of these videos that's going to come to play, feel free to also share these videos around to family and friends. Don't forget to follow me on my social medias, and don't forget to pop over to say hi to Amy and see that Aspie sent you guys over there to show your support to her. So, and all further ado, guys, thanks for support, thanks for watching. Do what love, love it.